Well, I think really people are looking at these next two picks. The Chiefs and the Lions shouldn't need a running back. The Chiefs, of course, took Greg Hill last year. The Lions do have Barry Sanders, although they're looking for a backup. So that leaves the Bears looking here. People thought maybe the Bears would jump up to take Wheatley or Salam. The Bears are going to stay pat at number 21. They'll take Salam if he's there, or they thought they had a trade possibly going with San Diego. But I think San Diego would have traded only if Hugh Douglas had been there. Douglas is gone. So I look for the Bears to go ahead and take their running back there, most likely Salam if he's available. And let's go to Hank Goldberg with the Jets.
Talking about trading, Kansas City, as Andrea said earlier, is looking to trade this pick. They're on the phones right now. And the reason that they would look to trade is that Marty Schottenheimer told me when I spoke to him on Friday, they're looking for speed on defense. If the people who aren't there, and the two he mentioned to me are gone, then he would look to trade down because he considers about a dozen offensive linemen to have little separating them, and that is his next need. He feels he could get a good one later. But barring no trade, I'd certainly look offensive line or Styles. Let's go to Dallas.
All right, thank you very much, Hank. The Dallas Cowboys are discussing trading down from the 28th spot with the Chicago Bears, picking up a couple of second-round choices. Chris Mortensen had mentioned the Bears thinking running back. Right now, Dave Wanstead is not entirely sold on Rashaan Salam. The running back that he likes is Terrell Fletcher out of Wisconsin, a little smallish back, but one that he thinks can be as productive as Emmitt Smith, and it may be a little high to select him there, so they may trade down and still get the running back. But at the moment, at least the way Dave Wanstead was talking to Cowboy personnel, Terrell Fletcher is the running back he likes. Let's go back now to Chris Berman in New York.
All right, Chris, thank you. 5 minutes to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, Joe Montana, in case you've lived in a cave for the last week and a half, has retired from professional football, so it's Steve Bono at quarterback this coming year, backed up by Matt Werewolves of Blunden, and they also signed to the veteran, the journeyman Rich Gannon, to play quarterback as well. Now they finally get what Joe wanted, some offensive linemen, Mel. It's the offensive line coach, Art Shell, the former coach of the Raiders, now the offensive line coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Do they now draft a younger lineman than Art Shell? Do they? Let's look at your board. Stringer's left, Brockermeyer, it's got to be in there, don't you think?
Now you're getting the value, Chris, with the offensive linemen. You see two gone already. Baselli, second overall, and Reuben Brown to the Bills. But Corey Stringer is a great football player who wasn't a great workout. In fact, he didn't even finish his 40, but he's going to really be a value pick for somebody. Same thing with Brian DeMarco and Blake Brockermeyer from Texas. Brockermeyer in particular gives you the versatility to play tackle or guard, and Wiegert as well, guard or tackle. Barrett Brooks, a lot of people think should be a late first-rounder. Milner's sliding a little bit maybe into the second. Birdie's versatile, also a long snapper, and Steve Ingram from Maryland I like. Saw a lot of him in the ACC, comes out of that run and shoot. He could be a good late second, early third-round pick.
Joe, that being said, and for value offensive line, the Chiefs' defense, yes, they have Derek Thomas and they have Neil Smith, but they really fell backwards last year on defense, which is why they went from the title game to just the first round of the playoffs at 9-7. Fields might have been a guy, but he's gone.
Yeah, you know, the problem I think you run into when you look at the defensive line is who's left. You know, you're really not looking at people of that extreme of quality that could come in and contribute for you. Got to remember, the Kansas City Chiefs, on top of the problems that they've had on the offensive line, they've got 3 of them as free agents next year. Alt's got a bad back. They're not 100% convinced he's going to be okay. To me, the only place for the Kansas City Chiefs to go, if they want to get help and get help it now, is the offensive line.
Well, they have 3 minutes and 18 seconds left to decide what it is they're going to do. Then Detroit, who you would think, defensive back, and a corner specifically, you would think. And then we keep saying Chicago, Green Bay, New England. Could all back. Somebody once said that, I think.
I heard that.
Oh, you're stealing my stuff. Well, it's football. It's allowed.
No. Never do it like you.
So this will be an interesting. You know what's intriguing about this draft? We get a lot of guys going with now the running backs coming. We've had the wide receivers and a couple quarterbacks. There've been a lot of, for the fans out there, you've followed these players all along. In other words, you've watched them run the ball, the Ty Wheatley sitter, for 2, 3, 4 years. There aren't a lot of linemen necessarily here that you don't know who they are. Here comes the commissioner with the pick. We will know who the Chiefs' selection is in about 10 to 12 seconds. Although it looks like a trade color card, does it not?
Kansas City, which was on the board, has traded its pick to Jacksonville.
Ooh.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the 19th choice in the first round, have selected a running back from Tennessee, James Stewart. In return for its first-round pick, Kansas City acquires the following picks from Jacksonville. Jacksonville's supplemental first-round pick in this draft, which is the 31st pick today. Jacksonville's bonus pick in the 3rd round in this draft, which is the 97th selection. Jacksonville's bonus pick in the 4th round of this year's draft, which is the 134th selection. And Jacksonville's bonus pick in the 4th round of next year's draft. Those picks are all acquired by Kansas City. Detroit is now on the clock.
Well, so the Chiefs feel that they can get an offensive lineman, if that's where they want to go, or a DB in the 31 spot. Now where they're picking. And James Stewart, it's a wonderful, wonderful pick. I'm sorry, I had to try it. For the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, and he was one that Jacksonville wanted. They didn't necessarily want to hang there. They made the deal for the quarterback. You thought maybe they'd have taken a Rob Johnson as the 2nd pick as a quarterback, but all of a sudden now they need some offensive players. They basically didn't have any. James Stewart fits exactly what they're looking for, so they didn't need the quarterback. You go to the running back position. I think it fits the need for him very well.
Let's go up to Coach Mike Gottfried. Coach, 1,000-yard back last year, James Stewart, 3 touchdowns in the Gator Bowl, and a guy with what scouts say has great inline vision, can make things happen between the tackles. And I'm sure that's what you've observed on film.
Well, Chris, the years I've watched James Stewart, of course, you remember he shared some time with Charlie Garner a couple years ago. So this is really the first year that he's really been in his own. Aaron Hayden, also another young back, played quite a bit. But this running back, James Stewart, has lower body strength. His hips and his legs, if you watch him break tackles here against the University of Georgia, just so strong lower body. And he has good breakaway speed and outstanding back, as you see him go to the touchdown here. James also has good cutting ability. Look at his head. Watch his eyes as he breaks through the line of scrimmage against Alabama, I believe, into the secondary. Constantly got his head on the swivel. Speed is something that also James Stewart possesses. Catches the ball in the backfield, but here again against Vanderbilt, you see him take the ball the distance. Chris, I think James Stewart, an outstanding choice.
Well, James Stewart is a guy, and I know Mel and Joe will concur as we spoke and get close to the draft, that a lot of people, and we've seen this, rated ahead of the Heisman Trophy winner Salam. But now, including with Kaufman gone, there's just one big-time back, at least as most teams look at it. You've got Chicago, Green Bay, and New England, who now are feeling pretty good. Now with James Stewart off the board, now they're sweating it out. So we shall see which backs go there if that's the way they want to go. Let's go to Craig James for a comment on Mr. Stewart.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I think James Stewart is an excellent runner, and a lot of that has to do with his lower body strength, the way he takes it to defensive players. I think that Ki-Jana Carter and James Stewart will make the easiest transition into the NFL as a running back, much easier and smoother because of their running styles and aggressiveness than Tyrone Wheatley, Salam, or Napoleon Kaufman. So James Stewart will be an excellent selection and a great career in the National Football League. This guy's going to be a big-time player.
2361.
All right, Craig, thank you. Let's go quickly down to Jacksonville, where Tom Coughlin has come out of the bunker and is with our Andrea Kramer. Andrea?
You know, Chris, I was here with Coach at the expansion draft. They had everything on the board and everything was turning their way. Now we're here at the college draft and the same thing is turning out. We talked about James Stewart yesterday. This is a guy you wanted to package and move up and get. Why?
Well, he's a good running back. We had him very high on our board. We're very, very confident that he's the kind of guy that will give us explosiveness. He's a down in and down out back. He's powerful. He's the kind of back that can be a service on the goal line. He's got good hands, so he's somebody we thought we needed in our program, and we knew that once the back started to go, he would go fast, so we wanted to go up and get him.
Were you concerned that somebody else was trying to take him?
Yes, we knew that other people were very interested in this back, and as a matter of fact, when San Francisco moved up, we weren't sure that they might be interested in him, so along about now, when Wheatley went, we felt, wow, something's going to happen fast, let's move.
What does he have that Rashaan Salam does not have?
Well, I think Rashad is a good football player. Rashaan is outstanding. It's just that we liked him better, and through our discussions with our scouts and our coaches, we gave him a little bit of an edge, and that's the guy we went for.
Like I said, you're right on course for everything you want. What do you look for with the 33rd pick?
Well, we have some needs to address now. Hopefully be offensive line or middle backer or someone in a strong safety position. We have a few needs we're looking to take care of.
All right. right, Coach, thanks very much. Chris, let's head back to you in New York.
All right, Andrea and Coach Coughlin, thank you very much. So again, Jacksonville going up to take James Stewart in exchange. The Chiefs get Jacksonville's pick at the bottom of the first. They get a pick at the bottom of the third. They get a pick at the bottom of the fourth, and they get a fourth-round pick in next year's draft in '96. So we have seen a lot of movement here in the first round, and we're only at pick 20, which is Detroit. Remember, there's 32 in the first round, so the tension still mounts. Stay with us. Round continues to roll here. We are now in the run of playoff teams, which makes it a lot of interest, because now you think, boy, if they just add this guy, if they just do this, then how much better will they be this coming year? Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, New England are your next four on the clock, and all these teams, Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, making it from the Norris at 9 and 7. The Detroit Lions, they didn't rush the passer very well. They need some help covering wide receivers, i.e. in the defensive backfield. Let's go down to Tampa Bay. Gary Danielson, talk about your former club, the Lions. They have their pick of corners if this is what they want to do.
They really do, Chris. And I think they were a little bit hurt. I think they secretly wanted Hugh Douglas at this point in the draft. And I think, on the other hand, they're a little surprised that Luther Ellis and Corey Stringer are still available. I cover this team in preseason. I live in the area, so I watch them play a lot. They have many needs: offensive line, tight end, still a rusher, and a corner, as you say. I had a sneaking suspicion here that they're going to take Luther Ellis, and John Tierlich's in there running that pass rush for them, and I think they're surprised that Ellis is still on the board, and my pick for them is Luther Ellis. Remember, I gave you Johnny Morton last year.
Oh, God, how could we forget that? We all know that, Johnny Morton. And you know, Johnny Morton plays an increased role now with Mel Gray out of there. Morton going to be a return man as well. Detroit has about 7 minutes to go. When we return, we'll delve into the NFC Central. Stay with us.
Zima Gold.
Are you out there, AT&T? Of course you are. You're not gonna like this. You know how all along you've been telling us at MCI to put it in writing? Sort of implying that we weren't telling the truth about our savings. Well, approve of the savings statement. We're sending them to our new friends and family customers, showing them how they save. Put it in writing. I hate to say it, AT&T, but you asked for it.
Business is the engine of society. Without it, there would be no jobs, no products, no competition, no advancements. Business is the engine of society. See how far it takes you. See how far it takes us all. This is the software that moves you forward.
Wayne Winfield and Ron Williams were two of the most heavily recruited high school kids in the country. Of course, it wasn't for their game, it was for their minds. And thanks to the Navy College Fund and the Montgomery GI Bill, they have a chance to really use them, because they can earn up to $30,000 for college. So, even if the MBA isn't in their future, I guess that's game. A BA is. For more information, call